Hey guys, what's up? It's Rygar the Destroyer, and today we're going to be doing part 2 of the video series where I'm taking a look at the old Star Wars toy catalogs. In the first part of the video, we looked at some catalogs that were from kind of older toys, pretty much everything from like maybe 97 to around 2005, 2006. And today we're going to be taking a look at stuff from 2006 and on. Now, unfortunately, Hasbro hasn't been doing many of these toy catalogs, and to be honest, some of these are new enough, like the one from the Clone Wars here, that there's not necessarily, I don't have any nostalgia for them, but some of these are definitely old enough that I do. So let's go ahead and start off with the oldest one here, which is from Revenge of the Sith. Now this one obviously is a lot smaller than the catalog we looked at in the first video. And that's because it's from, an actual 3 3/4 inch figure. So this would have been packed in with one of those. And I have a ton of nostalgia for these because, I remember opening these up in the car, on the way home from Walmart or whatever, and looking through them. So here on the front, they've got the 3 3/4 inch action figures. Some of these are the same from the first video, but there are some different ones that I'm seeing, like this Palpatine here with the electrical effects and this 2-pack with Obi-Wan and the battle droid. Now some of these figures have not held up as well, like this Grievous, for example, hasn't held up as well as some of these over here have, like this Boga. I always wanted this as a kid, and I just got one recently here, like within the last year and a half or so. This Barca Speeder I always thought was cool. I have a different version of it, and then this Anakin's Jedi Starfighter, really cool toy. It's funny to see the original Clone Wars cartoon style here on the, actually being used. Then on the back here, they've got some like roleplay stuff, some lightsabers. One of my neighbors gave me this lightsaber here, and I always loved it because Obi-Wan was my favorite character. The voice changer helmet, and then some of these guys. I never hear anyone talk about these, and I don't remember them being around for very long. But they're sort of bizarre. They have enormous feet and like little tiny heads, sort of odd. And like Darth Vader's got the shield here, so I don't really understand what these are supposed to be. Then moving on over here with these, I never really liked these as a kid. I think I was too old, but I did have a friend whose little brother, they just had a ton of these. They had basically every one that ever come out. So kind of cool to see these here. And then of course the attacks with an X because they're super edgy. Again, I didn't have very many of these. I never liked the style on them. I always thought they looked sort of weird. But boy, I wonder who that is. I'm sure it's not a battle droid, right? But anyway, moving on to the 30th anniversary collection here. This is one that's new. I have a ton of these because I bought a ton of 30th anniversary collection figures, but this one here is brand new, never been unrolled before. So let's see what's in it here. It's a lot larger than I remembered. Alright, let's see here. Alright, there's some cool stuff here. So obviously, 30th anniversary collection, everything came with one of these little coins, which was always cool to try and collect all of those. But we've got like, what looks like a, maybe concept art, Boba Fett. It says animated debut. Sorry, it's hard to read that through the viewfinder. Luke with the, from the Rancor pit, CZ4. I've always liked this figure here. I think it's the drum that it comes with. I always thought it looked cool. Some of these figures are worth a ton of money. I don't know about this one in particular, but this one here is usually pretty expensive to track down. Again, another one that I've always thought looked cool. He's huge. He's like, this big whenever you've got him in your hands. It's crazy to me that came single carded. But down here, C-3PO with Salacious Crumb on him. Let's see. Sorry, that's really hard to read. Baron Korub, I think. Oh, I probably butchered that. I'm going to get roasted in the comments. But from the original Clone Wars. I've actually got this one here. This is a cool figure because I love the animals of Star Wars, and they did a really nice job with Yoda and Kaibok here. And then the original Clone Wars Anakin with the tattoos. And then here's another one that's worth a ton of money. Darth Revan. Or Revan. Pretty cool looking figure. Haven't tracked one down just because I'm not willing to pay like 150 bucks for this guy. And I'm assuming this one's worth a lot of money as well. Usually the Sith figures are. Then we've got pre-cyborg General Grievous. I always thought this was sort of an unusual figure, but kind of cool that they decided to actually make one. And then what does this say here? Star Killer Hero. Alright, so it's a McCory concept art one. Pretty cool looking. Doesn't really match the style that will, eventually be in the movie, but pretty cool. And then some more vehicles here. Pretty cool. Darth Vader's TIE Fighter and then Anakin's Starfighter again. Honestly, any of the releases that are on that original mold are really, really nicely done. I recommend them. I think they did a later version more recently that I don't like as much, but this one here is an amazing toy. And then these comic book 2-packs. I always loved these because you would get, the characters and then, the comic that they appeared in, which I always liked because, some of them, like Mara Jade, she's not in the movie, so you don't know anything about her. So it's nice to have the comic book to kind of let you know, what's going on with the character. Pretty cool here. This is unusual to see Princess Leia with a lightsaber here. Sort of an interesting one. Then what's on the back here? Alright, some more roleplay stuff here. Pretty cool looking Nerf blasters. One of my friend's little brothers had this one here. I always thought it was pretty cool. And then we've got the Star Wars Transformers. I never liked these as a kid. I always thought that they were sort of weird. I'm not a huge fan of Transformers, and then, I always would have just preferred to have a 3 3/4 inch figure anyway. But tell me down below, did you guys collect these? Did you like these when you were a kid? Or even still now? Just let me know. More of the Galactic Heroes. This is sort of funny. I can't imagine any kid being excited to get these. I bet you they peg-warmed a little bit. And then little low gray down at the bottom. That's pretty funny. It reminds me a lot of the 80s cartoon. If you guys aren't familiar, go ahead and look it up. It's really bad. And then over here, some Unleashed battle packs. I always liked these as a kid because you get a nice variety of characters. I never had any of these ones here, but they look like they would have been pretty cool. Especially this one down here at the bottom. It looks like you can even take their helmets off. That's pretty sweet. So anyway, that's the 30th anniversary here. Let's see, what is this one here? Legacy Collection, okay. So let's open this one up. I see some Clone Wars stuff in here. Let's see what they've got. Alright, so up here at the top, Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. I don't recognize either of those costumes. I'm not sure. Down below, let me know what are these from. Are they from the comic books or something? I'm not sure. Then we've got Clone Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Anakin Skywalker. Pretty cool. Destroyer droid over here. I've got some version of this one. I don't know if it's from the Legacy Collection or not. And then my all-time favorites, the Clone Troopers. This is when, the Legacy Collection's when I started collecting a ton of Clone Troopers, because they were releasing them just right and left, every variation they could think of. So, cool Clone Trooper there. Got a Darth Vader. I'm pretty sure I have this figure. It's pretty good. It's a little limited, but for the most part, it's pretty good. There's that Yoda and Kaibok again. Clone Wars Yoda. This is a figure that I'm not a huge fan of. I never really liked the design on that one there. It looks like he's basically got no articulation, and then he's got this huge blaster thing. I've never liked when they've done that on figures. I figure that I always thought looked cool but never tracked down was this one here, Clone Wars Grievous. I always thought he looked sweet. And this one here, again, is one that I have. An amazing figure, Imperial Evo Trooper. Really cool. Ton of paintwork, ton of accessories, tons of articulation. He is pretty sweet. And then battle damaged Darth Vader, again, looks pretty sweet. I'm assuming that's from the Force Unleashed game. But pretty cool looking. Then over here on the side, we got some Clone Wars V19 Torrent. Awesome vehicle if you like the Clone Wars vehicles. Really cool one. And then ATTE. Now I remember when I was a kid, I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to have that. But it was just so expensive, and I didn't have the money for it. Now I'm kind of glad that I didn't end up picking this up because I've heard that its legs fall off. I'm not sure. I've never owned one in person, but I've kind of heard that that's a problem with them. I'm actually making my own. This is kind of a selfless plug here, or shameless plug rather. I'm making one out of cardboard, a replica one. Maybe I'll make a video on that at some point. Right now it's not finished. I just have the main body. None of the legs or the turrets are done. But I might make a video showing that off at some point. And another shameless plug here. I made a Hoth turret out of cardboard. I show you exactly how to make all of the parts and put them all together and paint it and everything. So go ahead and check that out. I might link it down in the description. So if you're interested, check that out, because it's basically you can get a Hoth turret for, I don't know, maybe $5 if you make it yourself, instead of paying $60 online. So pretty cool. Over here, another comic pack. Pretty cool. This one's kind of fun down here with the comic book colors. Kind of neat. And then this one up here. I don't know about the design on this one. He looks like he's wearing like a scuba mask. But again, I really loved the comic book packs. Then what's on the back here? More roleplay stuff. So we got your build your own lightsaber. Pretty cool. These Clone Trooper helmet. I have the 501st version, and I always thought these were sweet as a kid because it was an affordable way to have a Clone Trooper costume to kind of play with in the backyard. And then some Nerf blasters like we've already seen. More Transformers. Probably the only Star Wars Transformer I would ever consider buying is this one here, or the Republic gunship, just because it's my favorite vehicle. And this one looks pretty decent when it's transformed. Then over here, more Unleashed battle packs. This one down here looks sweet. I always thought this one looked awesome. But this guy here shooting that missile, pretty sweet. I just saw the original Clone Wars as well, that these guys are all from. They're really cool in that. And then just Jedi versus Sith, again, pretty cool. And some Episode 3 stuff. I've always liked this Yoda, where he's jumping, he's got like a clear effect. Pretty cool. Then more of the little kids' toys here. This one's kind of cool. The baby droideka looks pretty cool. And then Mighty Mugs. Now I've heard they're bringing these back, and I never liked these at all. They're kind of the same as, what are they called? The Funko Pops. Never really liked them just because they all look exactly the same. It's just the paint that's different for the most part. So I don't know. Let me know. Did you guys like these when they were out originally? Or are you excited for the new ones to come back? Just let me know. All right, so let's move on to the final one here. Honestly, I don't even remember getting this one. I found it in a box, so it looks like it's from the Clone Wars, I'm assuming. Oh, you. Odd. Okay, so start out over here. We've got Hoth Luke in his snowspeeder gear. Pretty cool looking. They did an amazing job. You can hardly tell that that's an action figure. Then what's over here on this side? Let's see. So I'm assuming these, again, are Clone Wars. Incredibly detailed figures. They certainly do. They're a lot better than the ones that we're getting now. I mean, even this guy here, Cloud Car Pilot, looks better than some of the actual releases we're getting now. I'm hoping the new vintage collection will be good too. I know a lot of people are disappointed with the first wave, but I don't know, I'm kind of excited for it. Got some more Clone Wars stuff here. This Grievous looks a little naked. Seems like he's missing a lot of stuff. I wonder if they had it in the package and it's like removable or something. Not sure. More Clone Wars stuff down here. I always liked these figures here. I remember picking them up in the store specifically. I was really excited to bring them home. Even though the helmets aren't really the greatest sculpt. They're pretty cool though still. Let's see, okay, more pictures here. Clone Wars figures. Pretty cool. This one's, I don't think as well done as the Hoth one. Moving on. More figures here. Again, still better than what we're getting now. This Greedo looks pretty cool. So this is some Saga Legends still, okay. We've got the C-3PO, looks pretty sweet too. And then everyone's favorite Galactic Battle Game. A lot of people don't like this, but I always liked that the figures came with a base. I think all action figures should come with a base to stand them up on, and I don't know why they didn't do it, but I always appreciated that these came with a base, you know, even though there was the die in the card that no one cared about. I always liked the base that they came with. Okay, so we got the remote control Hailfire droid. Pretty cool looking. I still prefer the non-remote control version though. I always thought the tracks here were a little bit too thick. I mean, I obviously know why they are, but never really liked the way that one looked. Then we've got Luke Snowspeeder and the Cloud Car. Again, both of these I think are pretty well done. I don't own either of them, but I always thought that they looked cool, even the Cloud Car one. Then we've got these ones here, the mini ones. I don't like this one here. Too small. It should be closer to the you know, original size. But this one over here looks cool though. I've never seen that one in person. Maybe I'll track it down someday. And then we've got the King here. Stands over 2 feet tall. Pretty cool. I'd love to track these one of these down, but I'm just priced out of the market. I can't pay like 600 bucks for one. But really cool looking. Then we've got some RC stuff here. I'm gonna go ahead and skip over that, I don't really care. More roleplay stuff. These are pretty cool. I'm pretty sure there's a kit that you can make to, or you can buy to get this and turn it into a more accurate Stormtrooper blaster. So these have really gone up in price, which is kind of funny. And then some of these guys here, I do not recognize those at all. So they must not have been around for very long. And that's it. Alright guys, so that's all of the toy catalogs that I've got. Just let me know if you like this type of video where it's not a review, it's more just talky. Let me know, and maybe I'll find some more things to look at. So if you have any comments or questions, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I guess I'll see you later.